Hey, let's debunk some weight loss surgery myths. Stay tuned. All right, guys, so as I mentioned, and as you can see from the subject of the video, we are debunking some myths concerning weight loss surgery today. So I have decided to embark on the journey of weight loss surgery. There's so much information out there, some information that's very useful and some information that frankly can scare you or may, push you back into your shell. But hopefully some information that I share today will be helpful in making you more confident in your decision. All right, so let's get started. So we're going to start out with 4 main or common myths that people typically hear about weight loss surgery. And I'll give you some more information about those, okay? So myth number 1, bariatric surgery is cosmetic. All right, so cosmetic surgery is considered to be a general surgery aimed at altering your physical appearance. For many of us, bariatric surgery is medically necessary and is used as a tool to decrease health risks associated with severe obesity. So let me share with you some of the most common weight-related diseases and their rate of improvement after surgery, okay? So the very first one is high cholesterol or fat lipids in the blood. So basically there's, having high cholesterol, it increases the chance of clogged arteries, heart attacks, stroke, or other circulatory concerns. And it's often related to obesity. It's also related to, an unhealthy diet or a lack of exercise. But after weight loss surgery, 63% of those cases were resolved. Number 2. So next disease that's often associated with obesity is non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Okay, so this is when excess fat accumulates around the liver and in the liver. It's often a silent disease, but if it's not treated through a lifestyle change, including diet and exercise, it can lead to liver failure. And we need our liver. It cleans our blood. It produces digestive liquid called bile. It also stores energy in the form of sugar. It's called glycogen. And that helps your body use the carbs that we consume. So basically when your body needs a quick energy boost or when a person's blood glucose level drops, the liver breaks down that stored glycogen. It releases the glucose into the bloodstream and, and it helps your body to produce more energy. And the liver does so much more. It helps with blood clotting, and it's also the organ that processes the active ingredients in medicines, and it breaks them down so that they can actually work. So all in all, we have to take care of our liver. After weight loss surgery, 90% of cases of fatty liver were resolved. The next common illness related to obesity is metabolic syndrome. Metabolic syndrome is really a cluster of conditions that occur together, but overall it increases your risk of heart disease, stroke, and type 2 diabetes. These conditions include increased blood pressure, high blood sugar, excess fat, body fat around the waist, and abnormal cholesterol or triglyceride levels. After weight loss surgery, there is an 80% of those cases were resolved. Type 2 diabetes. Okay, so this is a disease that we hear about a lot. And I'll be the first one to admit that, I've never really known exactly what that was before I started studying and researching about, my weight loss journey. But just in case you are like, I was, let me share exactly what that means. So type 2 diabetes, it basically impacts the way the body processes and regulates blood sugar or glucose, which is again, the body's fuel. So this condition, type 2 diabetes, actually results in too much sugar circulating throughout your body. And if it's not regulated in time, it can lead to all kinds of disorders, bloodstream, circulatory system, nervous system, immune system. So it's very, very important. This is this is major, as is all of these, but this is why we hear about it so often, because it is common. But after weight loss surgery, 83% of those cases were resolved. 83%. All right, let's move on to the next common disease that's associated with obesity is sleep apnea. Now, this is another medical term that unfortunately we're hearing a lot more these days. So it's basically a sleep disorder where you repeatedly stop breathing for periods at a time while you're asleep. Back in 2019, I actually underwent a sleep study and I was diagnosed with sleep apnea. I'll do a video one day talking more about that process, what my diagnosis is, but I also plan on tracking just the progress around any diagnosis that I've had related to obesity, and I want to see how they improve throughout this journey to health. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to be tracking it in one of my planners, and I will definitely bring you guys along for that journey too. But the treatment for sleep apnea, we may all be familiar, but it's basically wearing a breathing machine while you're asleep. It's called a CPAP machine. And that machine ensures that, you have continuous positive airflow. So when you stop breathing, when you're asleep, if the machine detects that you've stopped breathing, it forces air up your nose, or at least that's the type of machine that I have, that I was prescribed, the one that goes over your nose. But there are different types of CPAP machines that you can use. But after weight loss surgery, hear this, guys, 74 to 98% of cases were resolved. That's almost 100%. So that is amazing. I will look forward to, carefully packing up that machine once this case is resolved. I am claiming that that is going to be resolved for me. Another common illness that is associated with obesity is cardiovascular disease. Now this one is a big one because according to the World Health Organization, cardiovascular diseases are the leading cause of death globally. Okay, it's defined as a group of disorders of the heart, blood vessels, and there are 6 different disorders. I'll list those on the screen. But most of these cardiovascular diseases can be prevented by just addressing behavioral risk factors like stop smoking, have a better diet, get your obesity under control, get some physical activity in your day, and slow down if you can, or avoid altogether use of alcohol. I could really go on and on about this because my mother unfortunately passed away from a heart attack at the age of 52. She also suffered from chronic high blood pressure, as did my grandmother, who passed away from a stroke at the age of 63. So because I know that these diseases are hereditary, I've got to get it together. But let me share the rates with you of resolution. So after weight loss surgery, 82% of those cases of cardiovascular diseases were resolved. Another big one that, affects my family is hypertension, aka high blood pressure. So another common disease that we're used to hearing about, but it's basically a measurement of how forceful your blood is flowing through your artery walls. So if it's untreated, it can lead to heart disease and stroke. After weight loss surgery, 52 to 92% of the cases of high blood pressure or hypertension were resolved. So those are still really, really good stats. The 8th common illness or disease associated with obesity is GERD, G-E-R-D, GERD. I'll put it on the screen. That stands for, and here we go with the pronunciation, gastroesophageal reflux disease. Gastroesophageal reflux disease. We often hear this referred to as acid reflux or heartburn. Now for me, just depending on what I eat, that will determine whether or not I experience acid reflux. I generally don't have it. I had it a lot, obviously, like when I was pregnant with my children. But aside from that, like I said, just depending on what I eat, if it's something like greasy or has a lot of like tomato sauce or something like that, like some pasta or something, like I know that I cannot just eat and lay right down. You shouldn't be doing that anyway. But if I do that, that spells disaster for me. So I do try to, get up, sit up, move around after I eat, just to let my food digest. But for those who may not be familiar with the burn, the term, it's basically a digestive disease where your stomach acid or bile irritates your lining. And remember, we talked about what bile is earlier. Bile is the digestive juices or fluids that your liver produces in order to break down and digest your food. So after weight loss surgery, 72 to 98% of cases were resolved. Again, that is almost a 100% resolution rate. So that is amazing. So those are the main diseases that are associated with obesity and their, rate of resolution after weight loss surgery. Of course, if all of those get, resolved, or even most of them get resolved, your quality of life instantly goes up. So the rate of the increase of quality of life in all of the patients were 95%. Based on the research after weight loss surgery. So 95% of patients experienced an increase in their quality of life. The mortality rate, also a no-brainer, also improved. So this means we're able to live better and longer lives. So all of that was myth number one. Myth number two, it's the easy way out. Listen, the level of commitment that you have to have in order to sustain this lifestyle, it takes an incredible amount of self-discipline and self-control. And for a lot of us, it takes a lot of mental reconditioning, having to relearn the signs of hunger versus thirst versus fatigue. I honestly, I don't know how we got to this place, but somewhere along the lines, the lines became blurred and we started misreading the cues that our body was giving us. For example, if you ever realize how many times in a day we say, I'm hungry, or think, I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I need something to eat. If you can't get an accurate count, I dare you to put an alarm or some type of motion detector on your pantry door or on your refrigerator and see how many times that goes off. Just trust me on this one. I remember growing up, my grandmother used to have this little pig that she kept in the refrigerator, and I don't think it was motion active. I think it was light activated, because whenever the refrigerator door would open, the light would come on and the pig would start oinking, and we would hear her yelling from some corner of the house, close my refrigerator. I'll link that little pig down below to my Amazon storefront if you guys are interested. But it just brings some self-awareness to what your eating habits are. So anyway, this is far from the easy way out. Listen, for those who are saying that, cut it out. Just because this isn't your struggle, it does not negate the fact that it is someone else's struggle. And for the rest of us, wait, how do they say it on TikTok? I put this soda up, then I put this soda up, and I drop them because I don't care, right? That's just remember, your life isn't yours if you always care about what other people think. You have to do what's best for you. Time is too valuable to be wasted on anything less than love, good vibes, and happiness. So go on and reclaim your time, boo. I've learned that sometimes the best weight to lose is the weight of other people's opinions. The way that other people have the audacity to impose their opinions of you, solicited or unsolicited. It is just, audacity is at an all-time high this year. Like, I have my own experiences that just, it will blow your mind. So just be careful about, you know, who and what voices you allow in your ear gate. Protect your space, protect your mental health. It is really important. And just remember that the weight loss surgery is just a tool to help you lose weight. Like, think about this. If somebody handed you a hammer, nails, and wood to build the house, you would still have to do the work, right? Like, just because they gave you the tools, it doesn't mean that this house is going to be magically built. It's the same thing with weight loss surgery. It's just a tool. And during the surgery, they actually don't remove not 1 ounce of fat. So, you know, weight loss is just, or the surgery is just a tool that helps patients to lose weight, maintain their weight loss, and, you know, but it doesn't do all the work. It helps patients feel full with a small amount of food. Maintaining weight loss is unquestionably hard work, but we can do it, and we will do it together. Alrighty, so myth number 3, just eat less and exercise more. You know, let's be honest, and, you know, do me a favor. In fact, raise your hand if you've tried this method. Go on, I'll wait. See, that's most of us. Look how many hands are raised. Okay, we can't see them, but you know what I mean, right? Weight loss surgery is a last resort, for me anyway. A lot of us, you know, we have our individual biology and behavior. That means genes, diet, stress, sleep, physical activity, plus culture and community. You know, what is the preferred body size? You know, what is social media, you know, feeding us? You have to be careful about that. Family, household dynamics, social support, then add socioeconomic environment, you know, like how a salad, for example, or a grilled option costs so much more than a cheeseburger meal. All of these things, you know, have an effect on our lives, and we haven't even talked about those who might have a sedentary occupation. Like, if you're sitting down most of the day when you're doing your work, do you have access to health care? What about how much screen time you use? Now, wait, finish watching this before you start, you know, limiting your screen time. But all I'm saying is that this is not one size fit all. No pun intended. This is not one size fit all for everyone. So again, it's about finding a lifestyle that you can sustain, one that works for you. So that brings us to our 4th and final myth to debunk for our video. And myth number 4 is, it's dangerous. Okay, listen, I am not going to sit here and try to act like there aren't any risks associated with weight loss surgery. But what I do urge you to ask yourself is, what are the risks if you don't do the surgery? I mean, really sit with that question. I did. I had to really, you know, find my motivations behind coming to this decision. And sometimes it takes writing it down. So I have a little journal that I kind of journal out my thoughts and my thoughts for the day. And why am I doing this? You know, the Bible says, write the vision and make it plain. So really take the time to understand what your drivers are behind exploring, you know, this option. I'm gonna be 100% honest. You know, while my children are my biggest motivators, they're 2 of the most important people to me in my life, along with my brother and his family. But I'm at the top of my list. I'm number 1. If I had to make a bullet point, make a list, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I am number 1. I'm doing this for me. It's my back that hurts, you know, when I'm standing up too long. It's my sleep that's interrupted, you know, at night when my body stops breathing. You know, it's me that the nurse turns to and asks, is your blood pressure always run high? You know, when I'm in a doctor's appointment. This is for me. This is for my quality of life. And frankly, I want to avoid the avoidable diseases. And in turn, my family will benefit from having their mom, their sister, their auntie around for a lot longer time. So those are the 4 myths that I wanted to debunk for you today, or with you today. I really hope that something that I said today was helpful, or at least put a smile on your face. If you're having a hard day, just remember, it's just a day, not your entire life, and tomorrow is going to be better. Be kind to the parts of you that are still learning. Okay? Be kind. Be kind to the parts of you that are still learning. It's okay. It's okay. We're going to get through it. All right. So if you have any questions, comments, please leave them down below. I would love to engage with you guys. I cannot wait to see you during my next video. Make sure you like and subscribe so that you never miss one of my videos. And I don't really know how to end this, so bye.